Hello, welcome to this lesson where we are looking at the volume of a pyramid. Okay, so this is I think the seventh lesson that I'm presenting under mensuration, which is a grade 11 topic. And remember that these lessons are meant to prepare people that are writing their grade 12 exams as well as grade 9. But this one particular, it's a grade 11 topic, so it's meant for those that are writing their grade 12 exam. Okay, so let's see what is involved in finding the volume of a pyramid. So volume of a pyramid is given by the formula. We have the formula here. 1/3 multiplied by the area of the base. Area of the base multiplied by h. H is the vertical height. H is the vertical height or perpendicular height of the pyramid. In this case, our perpendicular height is 10. So perpendicular height is this one from the center. This is the perpendicular height, if I can demonstrate. This one here, okay? This is the perpendicular height, the one that we need to find the volume of a pyramid, okay? This height is needed. So if it's not given in the question, we need to work out a process to get this height. Right. So let's see what is involved. So in the first question, we are told that a pyramid, which is 8 centimeters high, so we take this as our perpendicular height, 8 centimeters, we take it as our perpendicular height, okay? Stands on a rectangular base, which is what? 6 centimeters and 4. So we have a pyramid here. Okay. And we are told that the distance from the center up to this one, it's what? 8 centimeters. Then calculate the volume of this pyramid. Calculate the volume of this pyramid. So I think what we are supposed to do here is to apply the formula. Now look at our base. Our base is a rectangle. Our base is a rectangle, which is 6 multiplied by 4. So the area base, to get our area base, we need to multiply 4 by the area of a rectangle. So we can come to our formula, which is, what is our area base? What is our base? Our base is a rectangle which has got 6 and 4. So you multiply these two, what do you get? We get 24. 24 is our area base. Then multiplied by the perpendicular height. The perpendicular height in this question has been given as what? Has been given as 8. So we need just to work out this. You multiply 24 multiplied by 8 divided by 3. What do we get? We can 24 multiplied by 8 divided by 3. We're getting 64. Or if you want this, we know that 3 into this one, it's 8 by 8. We're getting what? 64 volume centimeters cubed. This is what we are going to get for the first one. This is what we are going to get. Okay? So take note of that. Take note. 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 Okay? So we go on. So if we are given a question like this one, and then they ask us to find, again, the question is find the to the volume of this pyramid. The volume of this pyramid. The only difference with the other question is that this one, the pyramid has been drawn, but the other one, we needed just to come up with a sketch. It was stated in words. So in this case, it will still be the same thing. It will still be the same thing. Now, remember that we're going to have our base is what? We have 6 multiplied by 3 multiplied by the perpendicular height, which is what? 10. Okay? Perpendicular height. These two, they are giving us the area of the base. These two. Because our base is a what? It's a rectangle. Our base is a rectangle. So, this here, or we can cancel this one. 6, this and this one. So we have 60 centimeters cubed. This is what is going to be our what? Our volume. This is what is going to be. When we are talking about volume, we are looking at the capacity or the space occupied by something. So that is what we are looking at. Okay? So for this one, these are very simple when the question is given straight away like that. Now, please remember, and I want you to pay attention here when it comes to this one. What is it that we've been given here? We don't have the perpendicular height here. Remember, we don't have the perpendicular height. And I said to calculate the volume of a pyramid, we need the perpendicular height, the one that I demonstrated here. And please bear in mind this pyramid, this is the net of this same pyramid, this one. This is the net, it has been opened, okay? Like this, okay? So, it has been opened. So, we need this height. And this is what I want you to help me find. This is what I want you to help me find. So, I'm going to draw this on the board. So, we have, okay, we have our triangle here, another triangle here, another one here. Okay, the triangles are the same. Now, please, I want you to follow me. When you look at where this 12 is, 12 is not in the middle, and it is not this part. I want you to see the difference. 12, if we are folding this thing like this, 12 is on this point here. 12 is here. Here, that is where 12 is. Okay? There are times when you are given a measurement on the edge, but that is not the case. In this case, we are looking at 12, which is in the middle here. So I want you to see that if we come to this one, of course, we are saying the base is a square. The base is a square, so it's 8 and 8. But where 12 is, it's this point. I want you to pay attention. Where 12 is, it's this point. But then we also have 8 centimeters here. Take note that even this one is what? This is also 12, 12, 12 because the base is a square. So even the triangles are the same. Alright? Now, we need to find our height here. Please take note. We need to find our height here using these. So we are going to use Pythagoras Theorem. And since the height that we want is this one, okay? This is the height that we need. So we are going to use Pythagoras Theorem. Remember, we fold this part like this. So the height that we are given is this one. We are given this one, okay? Which is, take note, my pen is somewhere here. Then when this one is folded, okay? I want to come up with this. The middle part here, which this pen where it's standing, it's this part, okay? It's this part. Then when we fold the 12, this part which has 12, so 12 is here. This is where we have our 12 centimeters. Then take note, we also need this because I'm giving an example that my pen is here. This is the point that we are looking for. Then when we fold this one, it will come up like this. Then we also need this part here, okay? This one, from this point up to this one, okay? Which will be this one here. Now, remember that it is half, it's in the middle. So you divide this 8. This is 4. Are we together? This is 4. So, we need the perpendicular height here. So what are we going to do? Please follow me. What are we going to do? What we are going to do is that we are going to solve. This is our h, which is the perpendicular height. So what we are going to do in this case will be solving for h, in this case, as Pythagoras Theorem. So I'll go straight. You should be familiar by now with Pythagoras Theorem because we used it when we're looking at both volume and total surface area of a cone, as well as in the other lesson where we're looking at the total surface area of the pyramid. We still applied the concept. So h in this case is going to be the root of 12 squared minus 4 squared. So we are going to have, can you use our calculator without wasting time? 12 squared minus 4 squared. Okay, 12 squared minus 4 squared. That is our h. So what we are going to get as our h is going to be, I'm getting 11.31. 11.31. This is what I'm getting. 11.31. Okay? So take note that now that we are dealing with this one. So if we have, this is the height that we want. I can bring this one down here. The height that we want is this one. I'm just trying to do a sketch. The height that we want is this one. I hope now you're following, eh? My 12 is this one, which I did here. This part is that we have found as 4. Now we needed this one, which is a must. And what is it? We have found it as what? 11.31. 11.31. So now we can go ahead and find the volume of this pyramid, having found the perpendicular height, which is required in the formula. So now we can say our volume is equal to 1 over 3 multiplied by the area base multiplied by h. This h is not the slant height or this height on the edge. No, it's the perpendicular height. So we go on now and say 1 over 3 multiplied by our area base. Remember that the base here is squared. It's squared. So this is 8 and the other side it's 8. So you just multiply 8 by 8. What do you get? You get 64 multiplied by 11.31. So you can say 64 multiplied by 11.31 over 3. What do we get? Okay? We use our calculators. 64 multiplied by 11.31 divided by 3. What are we getting? I'm getting 241.28. But since we need always to write our answers to 3 significant figures, this is just going to be, in the exam they do emphasize that you need to write your answers like that. I hope you have followed this question. So, the same, here now we found the perpendicular height. The same would apply. I hope I'm going to come up with something that is still going. I need to explain some concept also. Alright? The formula, we need the perpendicular height. Now, I go back to this. Okay? Yes, here we are talking about the 12 is given. What is given is here. What if what we were given is this part? Remember? I hope you're getting my point. What if we were given the measurement on this edge? Okay? If we were given that the length, the corner, the edge here, if this is what was given as 14 centimeters, then this 12 is not there. Okay, this 12 is not there. Suppose the 12 is not there. Now, the 12 it's this measurement here. Now, the 14 is the edge, this part. Okay? This. How do we find it? It is still the same thing. When we open this thing, it will be something like this. Okay? This is our 8, this is our 8, this is our 8, this is our 8. Now, remember that, what do we need? What we need is the perpendicular height, which is this one here. Okay? But what is it that the question has given you? You have this 14. It's very, very important that you need to pay attention here. It's very important that you pay attention here. So this 14, remember, we have this point. Then we need this. This is given here. Okay? This part is given. You have the center, and what is given as 14, it's this part. Okay? Or maybe I can put it here. So now, it will mean that if what you are given is this edge, then what you need is this distance here. What you need, it will be this one. Because you are also looking at, from this point, are we together? That is very important there. It is very, very important if you are getting, you need to get what I'm trying to explain. I'm looking at a case where you are given this one. So, the point that you're going to use is this. Okay? Now, first of all, let me have both. Where you have, this is not T, where you have a rectangle. Okay. And now, this one, the base is squared, but this one is a rectangle. So I'm giving you both. I'm giving you also both where you have been given the measurement here. This one is what has been given. And then this one is not known. What do you do? And this is what I'm trying to explain. Now, in this case, you are given that this is 6 and this is 3. Then, what have you been given? They give you maybe this one. Then they are asking you to find what? The volume of the pyramid. Now, volume of the pyramid, what do we need in the formula? It's the perpendicular height. This height here is the height that we need. This one. This is the height that we want. So how do we find it? That's what I'm trying to explain. So there are two ways that you can find. Let me start with this same one. So, since we are looking at this height and this one, so let me try to extend this one. Okay? Now, remember, what do we need? Here we need this point. From this point up to this one. This is the height that we want. Now, how do we find this height? How do we find this one? You'll discover that here, since we have divided this into two equal parts, this is going to be 4 here. This point, from this point up to this one, it's 4 centimeters. Also, when it comes to this one, this is going to be 4 centimeters. So it's like we have something like this. What we want, we have 4 and you have 4. Then what we want is this. This distance is what we need. I hope you are following me. This distance is what we need. I'm just explaining another way in which the question can be given to you. Like you may see in the questions that I'm going to give you. So this, after we use Pythagoras Theorem here, of course, to get this one. So when we get this one, that is what is going to be our, let's say that is our x there. Now, remember, we are dealing with this triangle here. And this triangle, we are looking for h. And our 14 has been given as what? I mean, this part. Remember, this is the corner. The 14, it's this part now that has been given. This one, is that what has been given. So we want where it meets, so we are getting the adjacent from that point. So we are saying, this is what is going to be our x here, which you are going to find when you square these two. This is what you get. Then here, what do you have? You have 14. So it will be now easier for you to do the same thing. H is equals to the square root 14 minus, then what you get here, x squared. Then what you get the same thing. The same thing is what is going to apply here. I'm just trying to explain using one method so that I don't confuse you. One, I can also do this. Okay. So, my interest, maybe this one may not even be needed, this one. So, what is my interest? My interest is the distance from this point up to this one. What is this distance? Here, this forms 90 degrees. So I need to find, since this, from this point up to this one, it's 6. So this is my 3. And also, since from this point up to this point, this is 3. This is going to be 1.5. So how do I get this one? We do the same thing. You have something like this. 3, 1.5 here. So you use again Pythagoras Theorem. How do you use Pythagoras Theorem now? It will be this x here. If you want to find x, you say x is equals to, because you have the opposite and the hypotenuse, it will be 3 squared plus, okay? When you are finding the hypotenuse, you add these when they are squared, like this. Then you find their root. So what you are going to get here is what you bring at this point. Whatever you are going to bring at this point, when you draw another triangle like I'm drawing this one, you need the perpendicular height, remember. This one, the slanting, this height here, this height is what is our 9. So you write your 9 here. You write your 9 here. H is what we are looking for, which is at this point. Remember? Then the bottom part, this bottom part is what we found here now, when you did this one. Then now you go on. After you have found H, you go back to our formula. You go back to our formula. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I hope it's clear. Let me... Is it clear? Okay. I thought the writings are not very clear. So, this is what we are supposed to do in an event where this 12 is not given. So I have tried both. Okay? Then I have equally seen questions that talk about that ask you to find an angle. Now, all those questions that ask you to find an angle, it is the question of you going to understand the SOHCAHTOA, the introductory part of trigonometry. You need to understand the SOHCAHTOA just, because there are times when they'll ask you to find the angle, which is maybe this angle here. They'll ask you maybe to find this angle. It's important that you get to know this. So it's the question of you understanding the SOHCAHTOA. Sine theta is equals to opposite over hypotenuse. You need to understand this. Cos theta is equals to what? Adjacent over, then the other one, the last one is opposite over adjacent. So you just need to understand those ratios. Then you'll be able to work out depending on what they are looking for. Sometimes they'll ask you to find this, you have this point, then they'll ask you to find this angle. So you should still be able to know that, okay, if they want me to find this angle, and then you are given this one, and then this one is given, this is the opposite and the adjacent. So you're going to use tan. Okay? It's very important, depending on what you're given. Whichever angle they want you to, you should be able to understand those ratios. If you don't understand those ratios, the angles that they're asking you to do, they'll be very difficult. So once again, remember that when you're dealing with the volume of a pyramid, you need to find one thing if it is not given. The perpendicular height, this height here. Once you have found it, then your formula is easy. Your formula is easy. You know it. 1 over 3 multiplied by the area base multiplied by h. This h when we're dealing with the perpendicular height, please, I've explained that, and I hope you've gotten the concept. Our desire is that people must pass their exams at first attempt. That is why this channel has presented all the lessons that one may need from grade 10 up to 12. For grade 9s, from grade 8 up to 9. Okay? So, even the questions that we give, a good number of them are from past exam papers. So, I hope you have followed here, and you have gotten the concept, and I'm going to present to you. So sometimes they can give, a question can be given to you, not a pyramid, they'll give you a net like this one. So if they have given you a net like this one, you should still be able to know that when this thing is folded, it will form a pyramid. And you should always know that for me, what I need to find my volume of a pyramid, I need to find the perpendicular height or the vertical height. That's very important for you to do when it comes to this part. So the vertical height, or they may not tell you if this is just maybe V, then here you have M. They tell you to say find the length or the height of VM. Here we're talking about the what? The perpendicular height of this point. If you've got V and then here there is N, what are we talking about? Here, V and N, we are talking about this corner here. Okay? Please take note of that. If you have V and then here there is K, what are we talking about? It's this that is in the middle of the triangle. I hope you have gotten the concept. Let me give you the questions that you are going to try. These questions always have the angle part, and you should be able to do them. Maybe let's see. So please, on this diagram, just concentrate on the way it was meant for other questions, but I want you just to take it as it is. Just draw it as it is. And as you can see, the base is squared. Then the perpendicular height is already given. So please find the volume of this pyramid. That's the question I'm giving you. Draw it as it is, then find the volume of this pyramid. Read this question also. Please, this 5 is not the perpendicular height, no. As you can see, 5 is what? It's the slanting height, which is FE. So you need to find the perpendicular height first. Okay? So also here, after you've copied this question as it is, below you should write calculate or find the volume of this pyramid. Find the volume of this pyramid. That's the question I'm giving you. So here, look at this question. Is it question 20? Just get this whole question and answer it. I've already presented total surface area. So here, you first find the height that they are talking about here. It's the perpendicular height, of course. Find volume, total surface area. Even this one that talks about the angle, can do it. Remember, I was explaining this question. There's also this question here, question 21. The vertical height is the perpendicular height. These angles are very simple, like I told you. You need to understand those trigonometric ratios. Okay. Here's another one. Do everything just. It's a very simple questions. Okay. This one was in 2019 paper 2. If you want down there, you can add, find volume, find total surface area, the same thing. So after this question, after you've dealt with this one, you need to calculate volume. Of course, to find volume, it's a must that you need to find OP. Okay? You need to find OP. So these are questions that I thought I should present to you. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Make sure, don't forget, Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and give us comments on how best we can improve. Thank you. Okay, so if you have this book to help you, then this one, that's where some of these questions are coming from.